Owen Power, Luke Hughes. Two men enter, one man reigns supreme. Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow, and today it's Monday, August 15th, 2022. Man, the NHL is in a great spot young talent-wise right now, and the blue line is no exception. Owen Power, Luke Hughes, two of the top defensive prospects in all of hockey, maybe the two top defensive prospects in all of hockey. You bet we're going to do a player card battle. We're going to get to that in just a moment on Today in Hockey. But before we get to that, we got to get through headlines, including some more IIHF action, and then we're getting into it. The meat and potatoes player card battle with help from Jfresh Hockey and EliteProspects.com. We're going to take a look at both these players, pros, cons, and at the end, I'm going to tell you who I think you should take moving forward into next season and beyond. If you do enjoy the content, take a moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, helps us out a ton. We're just getting started, but you want to be a part of the newest and the best beard in all of hockey YouTube. Today in hockey history, on this date, August 15th, in 1972, we got a good one for you Maple Leafs fans. Then Maple Leafs owner Harold Ballard. Not sure if you're familiar with him, but you most certainly should be. He was convicted of 47 criminal charges, including theft, fraud, and tax evasion. The Holy Triumvirate. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but he actually was released the following year in 1973. But my goodness. All right, headlines. Let's get into it. IIHF World Junior Championships, they're going on right now. Day 6 yesterday, day 7 today. Latvia wins. They won yesterday over the Czech Republic. First win in the history of the country. And then today, Canada continues rolling. They won 6-3. Canada and the U.S. both undefeated so far. I like it. And speaking of the U.S., keep Luke Hughes in mind. We're going to get to him in just a moment. All right, San Jose Sharks, a little bit of bad news for you guys. Nikolai Knyzhov will miss the first few months of the season with an Achilles tear, but not the entire season, it sounds like, just the first few months, so I guess there is some good news there after all. All right, player card battles. We've done some in the past. We looked at current players, Ovi and Sidney Crosby. We looked at some of the phenoms on offense with Matt Boldy and Cole Caulfield. Well, this time, we're looking at a couple of players that haven't really played in the NHL yet. Owen Power made his debut last season. Luke Hughes yet to make his debut, but both players drafted 2021 first round. Owen Power, first overall. Luke Hughes, fourth overall. And to tell you what, a couple of years ago, folks might not have said this conversation was as close as it is today. These players are both excellent. I'm not here to tell you which one I think is better by any means. I think both players are fantastic. I both think they're going to have excellent careers, but I'm just like anyone. I have a preference, right? So we're going to take a look at the pros, cons. We're going to look at the player cards for each of these guys, their stats, and then we're going to pick a winner at the end, all right? Here we go. Owen Power, first up, the Buffalo Sabre lad. All right, so here we go. We got the player card from Jfresh Hockey. With these prospect cards, the important spot to look at are just the two big numbers, essentially. Blue, good, absolutely. We don't see red. 100%. That's his percentage of becoming an NHL regular, according to Jfresh Hockey. We love to see it, absolutely. 18% a chance at becoming a star. That's still pretty great. 18%, absolutely. And then we look at his stats. So down in the middle, we look at his numbers. And Owen Power, when we think of Owen Power, we think of the perfect combination of size and skating ability, right? You see him gliding along the ice. You don't even realize how fast he's moving or how quick he's changing direction. He makes it look so effortless. Effortless skating. That's going to be a theme of the day, absolutely. But he's 6'6", 214. Now, his offensive game isn't the thing that you think about first and foremost. It's more so the size, skating ability combination, what he did on defense, and then projecting that offense. So his point totals, we weren't expecting it to be groundbreaking, but last season he really did have a good season at Michigan. 32 points, 3 goals, 29 assists. He really did turn the corner. So that takes us into the pros. Size, 6'6", 214. He is the prototypical defenseman size. Chris Pronger, Victor Hedman, they're the giants of the blue line, right? You're not Zdeno Chara size. Check out our video on Zdeno Chara. Where's he going to play? But he is 6'6", 214, and he uses that size beautifully. But he's also got that skating ability. It's a unicorn, essentially, with his ability to skate, with his edge work, and the ability to maneuver in tight spaces and to make up ground. It's wonderful to watch, but it's one of his biggest strengths. Now, this season, he's really developed that playmaking ability. My goodness, if you watched him play for Canada earlier this year, he really just, his passes were on point, his vision was on point, he was really making the game look easy and having an impact on offense. That's so great to see. His ability to process the game quickly, that is something that I found in a lot of articles as I was doing some research on this, and that's something you do see in his game. How about that play he had? And it had to be like his first NHL game, I believe, against the Maple Leafs. Nasher was calling out he's got to get that quick pick ability now, right? Well, it's that ability to process the game so quickly at high speeds. When things are going bad, he's able to process it and make the right decision. And we're starting to see that in the NHL already in that limited time that he did play. And last but not least, the big pro for Owen Power for me is that offensive improvement. I already spoke to it a little bit with that vision and the ability that he showed standing out on offense for Team Canada. I fully expect him to continue to keep growing into that role with the Sabres. He does have the benefit. Rasmus Dahlin is already there, left-handed defenseman leading the power play, so Owen Power isn't going to have to necessarily do that right away, but he could do that on the second unit, right? Cut his teeth with it, get better and better, keep learning. That is something that has just really impressed me with his game, is how he's been able to learn, adapt, and grow. You love to see that with young players. But we got to get to the cons too, right? These guys aren't perfect, absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong, both players are really close to perfect. But one thing I do see called out, more aggression in the neutral ice. And that is something that isn't really a huge part of Owen Power's game. He's not going to take the puck and just run with it and try to see what he can do. He's going to take the puck and he'll take his time, quarterback the play, start moving the play up ice, and make the right decision. But I do agree, you would like to see him use his skating ability to attack the neutral ice just a little more. But again, he's still a young lad. He's just cutting his teeth in the NHL. You got to give him some slack, and I definitely see him improving that. Now, will the offense continue to advance? We weren't talking about the offense, that much, him in his draft year. Of course it was there, right? He's number 1 overall pick for a reason, but will this offense continue to grow? The improvements that he's made over the last season is just incredible. Can he continue to grow like that? If he can, the world is his oyster. The sky is the limit. But all right, that's Owen Power. New Jersey Devil fans, I didn't forget about you. Let's look at Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes, I'm a big fan of Luke Hughes' game. I actually saw a quote when I was doing research for this that someone called Luke Hughes the closest thing to Cale Makar, aside from Cale Makar, that we have right now. It's hard to disagree with it, right? You watch the highlights, but the number one thing with Luke Hughes, right, and it's going to be with all these Hughes brothers, their skating ability. They make it look effortless. You talk about it with Owen Power at 6'6", 214. Well, Luke Hughes, 6'2", 185 right now. He glides. It's graceful. It's angelic. It's beautiful. And he does it with the puck. See, that's a big thing too. Owen Power, sure, he can. He's not losing the puck. He's still able to hold possession. But Luke Hughes is almost like another forward on your blue line, and that's what the Avalanche and Cale Makar have really shown. You got to have it now, right? If you can have that X factor on your blue line, it just separates you. So let's look at Luke Hughes' player card compared to Owen Power's. 96% chance at becoming a full-time NHLer. To be honest, I think that number's a little low. I think it should be 100% as well. But for whatever reason, Jfresh's model does not agree with that. His projected chance of becoming a star, 13%, so a little bit lower than Owen Power's as well. But do you realize who we just talked about, right? Cale Makar. There are folks that would argue he is a top 2 NHL player, not just defenseman, NHL player. So if Luke Hughes gets anywhere near that, I would say that's a success. I think that percent to be a star should be a little higher. So let's go through the pros. We already talked about the skating ability and the ability with the puck. It's beautiful, right? His production, though, and not just for his age. That's what one of the articles I found called out, too. The Athletic called out that his age. He was the youngest skater a couple of years ago in collegiate hockey, or the youngest defenseman, and so he's always going to be young for his age. Whereas Owen Power, he's a September birthday. He's going to be a little older. So Luke Hughes is always going to be on that younger side for his age bracket, and he led the nation in points last season. We see led the defensemen in points last season for the nation with 39 points. That's incredible. This is on the same team as Owen Power. Remember this. And this is Luke Hughes playing on his offhand. He spent the majority of his time playing on the right-hand side when he's a left-handed defenseman. So what else do we have to rave about with Luke Hughes' game? He makes the game look effortless in transition. If you watch Luke Hughes tear up through the middle of the ice, and that was one of his biggest cons coming into this season, is he was too passive. He's very on the edges, doesn't like to go through the middle. My goodness, watch his highlights from this last season. He attacks that middle. And a lot of that, playing on your offside, he has to kind of come in for a shot. Scored a lot of goals, right? We see 17 goals, 22 assists for those 39 points. It was wonderful. It was just a great, he made great strides this season. He improved where he needed to. So just like I said, we talked about him needing to attack the center of the ice. Well, he showed that he can do that, and he showed it a lot this year. And again, 17 goals. That's amazing. And he's got the NHL pedigree. You can't ignore it. It's a real thing. Quinn Hughes, his brother, Jack Hughes, his other brother. Devils fans, you got 2 of the 3. If you could somehow get Quinn on the team, I tell you what, you guys are set. But Luke Hughes, I think he's going to be an excellent NHLer. Quinn Hughes has already had a great impact, right, in the NHL. Well, Luke Hughes is essentially Quinn Hughes, but a little taller. And, their games aren't exactly the same by any means. They're each their own. But I'm a huge fan of Luke Hughes, but we got to talk about the cons, right? What are the negatives of his game? It's hard to find them. It's just same as Owen Power, right? We're nitpicking a little bit, but he needs to fill out his frame more. Absolutely. 6'2", 185. He's still only 18 years old. We can't look away from that. So he's going to fill out. Give him some more time in that NHL system, and he'll definitely fill out and keep that smooth skating. Man, it's just going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Now, does he take too many risks? To be honest, this last season I didn't see that as much. His highlights from the season before, you did see it, right? Like, he would definitely attack the neutral zone, get picked on defensively a little bit, but he improved. He made strides, and that's what you want to see. It's same thing as Owen Power. If he can continue to make these same strides, man, the sky is the limit. So, okay, we have given you 2 players, Owen Power, Luke Hughes. We've looked at the pros, we've looked at the cons, we've looked at the player cards. Who do I want moving forward? And again, this isn't speaking ill on either player. I think both are going to be excellent NHLers. But if I'm building a team and I'm picking one player out of these 2 to pick, I'm taking Owen Power. That's right, the young Sabres defenseman. I tell you what, this unicorn combination of size, speed, skating ability, and the improvements that he has made offensively, I just can't look the other way on this one. Luke Hughes is going to be an excellent NHLer. New Jersey Devils fans, the future is bright, but in this regard, I'm taking Owen Power. What do you guys think, though? Let me know in the comments which player you would rather go with. I know Devils fans are going to give me a hard time. Don't hold it against me. Still love your team, but please let me know in the comments who we're taking. I love talking with you guys. It's always a good time. Check out the other videos on the channel if you do enjoy the content. Take a moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate you guys. Until tomorrow, cheers.